Live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 261. I'm your host, Brandon Reef. I'll be joined momentarily by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. Welcome back. We've got a great show this evening. Probably, it's not as news heavy a lot, but we'll be taking calls tonight. We will be talking NBA tonight. We've got some NBA news and notes, but we're kind of recap the NBA draft. We've got some NFL notes, just a few NFL tidbits as we get ready and such. But we'll take some calls as well tonight. Tonight, you may have yourselves a nice little hour show or so this evening with myself and my co-host Jonathan Birdsong. JB, how are you?
What's going on, Brandon Reef? What's going on, Crossroads Sports, man? Dude, it's been just like surely just 1 week under, you know what I'm saying, that we had, but we back in the saddle again. I know we kind of NBA heavy tonight just because free agency is right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? NBA is just like out with the draft and back to, you know what I'm saying? The NBA is back to back, man. You know what I'm saying? So the NBA draft was last week. We talked about, we lost our minds about that, seeing who's going to get drafted. Who's going to get drafted. Now we're trying to see, you know what I'm saying, what players are going where. So, you know what I'm saying? I know we got a lot to talk about, man. So let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be remiss, John, if I didn't say that the last couple days here in Indianapolis are kind of like the movie, the Cheech and Chong movie, Up in Smoke, I feel like.
Man, it's like super smoggy here, man. It's never, Indianapolis is known to have all kind of weather, but never like smog, man. So like, yeah, man, it's really like a bummer. It's really a bummer, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we get started, we'll get our guy on. We'll get him on early this time. I was told he was on last time, but we'll get him on here. Sweet Lou, what's going on?
What's going on?
Hey, fellas, how are you?
Good, yourself?
I try to jump in early.
Yeah, absolutely.
I try to jump in here.
How's the East Coast treating you?
Wet.
Lucky you. Here we got. It's just smoky here from those fires and no rain, and it's terrible.
Yeah. I know. It's awful.
What's
a lot of things are going on.
Yeah, we got on the docket.
We just had the NBA. Yeah, we just had the NBA draft. We have the NHL draft tonight. And of course, I was not surprised by the pick of on the NBA draft that won by Yana. The next big thing is sliced bread, but I think a little bit overhyped. We haven't really seen him play. He plays different styles than the Americans do. So, let's just see what he does when he comes up with the summer league and then preseason, and then let's see if he's worth the hype. A lot of these players aren't worth the hype.
Yeah, absolutely. Lou,
yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Nah, there's already kind of talk about on Wimbiana only playing a handful of summer league games, man. Just because they want to get his strength and conditioning, the plus on that, because everybody can kind of see, man, he's real thin. But like they're supposed to be like a kind of like a pitch count on Victor Wembanyama. And I get why, because so much. The Spurs are like that organization, and those fan base, they're trying to get back to their winning ways, and they don't want to have a setback.
Right.
Lou, I saw today, and I want to shift gears, baseball.
Okay.
I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. Our Reds kind of got hot for a bit, and then it's kind of cooled off, but we got a nice win last night. I read today that Mets owner Steve Cohen, rightfully so, has expressed his frustration with the state of his team, how they've underperformed. And he kind of said, if we don't change things around here shortly, I'm not saying I'm not going to possibly sell off the team by the trade deadline. And they got some stars.
They do. And it's kind of shocking because, last year they did so well, everything. And you're looking for a repeat performance. You have Verlander, and you got some good other pitchers and hitters. But so far, they haven't done anything that much this year. There's 7 games below 500. Nobody expected to crash this quickly. especially after 101 wins last year.
Yeah.
So this is I think a big disappointment this year so far for Mets fans.
Yeah.
Not that I'm one of them. Several that are.
Right.
So it is kind of a sad statement right out there. Last year I know what happened, but they did well. But this year they've been back to their old ways. I mean, they haven't really been consistent since the early 2000s.
Yeah. Talked last time we talked, or maybe it was 2 times ago when we talked about the Yankees and how it was a struggle. They were in last in the division, and I asked you about the panic button. We said no panic button yet. They're third in the division, 9.5 back, 43-36. Man, this is just a whole different team without Aaron Judge.
Yeah. It is.
I don't understand why either. I mean, I do, but I don't.
Well, he was your slugger, your home run hitter, and that's what they're missing from him. So that's the problem right there. Once they get him back, whenever they do, maybe they'll start making a run. But right now, it doesn't seem to be looking that way, especially since, the Orioles aren't what they used to be. I mean, they've gotten better. And the Rays, just seem to have our number. And right now, we're on a 6-game West Coast road trip, and we don't usually do well with the West Coast teams. So it's going to be a struggle for a while.
Does anybody in the AL Central? I mean, the Twins right now lead the division. They're 2 games under 500 with Cleveland. Does anybody want to win this AL Central or?
No. The AL least.
The AL least. Hey, here's my question for you, Lou. And I know you're an East Coast guy, and I don't know how much at all West Coast baseball you get to see or you take in at night actually watching the game. For me, it's the highlights, the Ohtani highlights and all that, whatever. Back in the day, and I was watching I watched an old sports show on YouTube the other day, and they were talking about, the highlights were like 8 or 9 Hall of Famers nowadays, but 8 or 9 highlights, and they were like, this guy here had he had just 9 strikeouts and he hit 1 home run as a pitcher, and the stuff we see of Babe Ruth and Ohtani. I mean, last night he struck out 10 plus and had 2 home runs last night, and just nobody's seeing it unless you're actually going out looking for it, unless you're the Angels or out there on the West Coast. I almost feel like he's doing some stuff out there that, it's just not getting the coverage that it needs, that I feel like it should be with the stuff that he's doing compared to what, it hasn't happened in how many years,
Well, a lot of East Coast people don't get a chance to see it, and, nobody really takes much the Angels seriously except for Ohtani, because they're not, one of the best teams. So I can just imagine why these lack of coverage.
You think he'll be a Yankee?
No, I don't.
You don't think so? I mean, his contract's up end of the year.
I know, but I don't think they're gonna, be so quick to give up on him either.
Okay. Let's see. My Reds are doing all right. I'm actually surprised how well the Diamondbacks have done this year. Diamondbacks leading the division 48-32. I kind of thought the Dodgers, and actually I'm surprised with San Francisco. San Francisco was trash last year, and they've done a really good job. I've been unimpressed with the Rockies and the Padres from that. I thought they would be obviously ahead of the Giants and D-backs, and I thought the Dodgers still got plenty of time to win that division. I think they do in the end. But my other thing, let's talk hockey real quick. So my Chicago Blackhawks, we got the number 1 pick tonight. We're going to take the franchise, the new franchise guy, Connor Bedard, tonight. They made a good move on a trade yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? My days are all mixed up. Made a great trade. Am I crazy for putting a little bit of change on them to win the Stanley Cup this year? It's at plus 20,000. I can make some good money.
Yeah, but it probably won't happen.
I just want to get to the playoffs. Let's be real.
I don't think it's going to be enough to get to the playoffs. going to take more than one guy to get there.
Yeah. Last time they had a guy like this, you know what happened. Patrick Kane, Johnny Tay. So what, though, are you expecting with I saw Connor McDavid wanted himself another MVP trophy. And I feel bad for the Oilers because I actually had money. I had a future on them to win the championship this past year. But Vegas just took it to Florida. Just completely took it to them. Do you feel they have a great shot at repeating this next year with the state of hockey?
No, I don't. I mean, it's very difficult to do in this day and age. And, they're looking to break up the team. And that's a sign right there that I don't think they would have a chance to repeat. I mean, you have 6 of the original players still there, but I think, they're going to try and, look for free agency and whatnot. So based on that, I don't see it happen. It's very tough to get in this day and age.
Okay. John, any questions for Sweet Lou?
I do, man. Before we let Lou, give his plug, or I gotta ask him what the state of psychedelic drugs going up in New York City is going on since Aaron Rodgers said it's okay to take LSD to deal with to potentially deal with injury. So I don't know.
I get it. Yeah, just don't do it in the game.
Yeah, just don't do it in the game. Absolutely. No, man, I don't have anything, man. I know we're a little far away from NFL talk or for deep NFL talk. Are there any more improvements you're hearing about coming to New York? I know they're tinkering with bringing in a running back. I know there's some names out there that still haven't got a name. Like Dalvin Cook still hasn't home. I know, some other guys are still, are the Jets all in this year, you think?
Well, I think they're going to do a lot better. I think they'll at least make a wild card appearance. But I wouldn't be talking Super Bowl right now, even with Aaron Rodgers. A wild card, a division win, yes. A wild card, yeah. Maybe make it the second round. But that's about it.
I agree. This is the same guy that had a good team in Green Bay and just couldn't get over the edge. Can't win an NFC Championship game at home. So what's going to make it change now with this talent, with the talent that's in New York? To me, nothing. Sorry, Lou, but I mean they don't have the talent that they had in Green Bay right now. Not saying they can, but I see nothing that shows me that he's going to get to a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Love it.
Be a nice thought, though.
Love it. Me and Lou agree.
Yeah,
like it. Lou, you want to give us your plug?
Certainly. The Enhanced Sports Show, Saturdays 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, I said 4 to 6 now, not 5 to 7. We had to change that for accommodating someone else.
Yep.
If you thought this week was going to be a dull week in the sports world, guess again. Because we will cover the draft. Not all of it, because I got other stuff to do. We'll look at some of the NHL schedule, because that's just been released last night. Also, we'll have predictions on the championship game of the USFL. Sorry. Oh, boy. That's right. US about to have their championship game. We'll take a look at maybe some upcoming Wimbledon events.
Ooh.
Because Wimbledon starts on Monday. And I know some people are involved who are interested in that. So it's going to be a great show for the end of June. Of course, also have our best and worst of the month of June. I was going to do it last week. I thought, you know what? We got a whole week left yet, so let's postpone until the 1st of July. So we'll take care of it then. And a whole other features. So you got time Saturday 4 to 6 on the East Coast now. Keep that in mind. Number is 512-543-4662.
Awesome.
And if I don't get a chance to talk to you, have a happy 4th.
Thanks, Lou. Appreciate it. Happy 4th to you as well.
Thanks, Lou.
I'll save you a firecracker.
Don't blow your hand up. All right. Thanks, Sweet Lou, for calling. Appreciate it.
I'll send you an email.
There you go. I like that.
Unlit.
All right. Thank you, Sweet Lou. Uh-oh, I lost Jonathan, too, when I got rid of Lou. John called back in here. We'll get him back on there. There he is. All right, JB. Sorry, man. We lost you and I lost Lou.
No, man. You know how the East Coast is, man. They hate on me too, man.
Exactly.
Nah, man. I'm like Luke came. I'm glad Luke came in talking about talking about baseball. What I mean, I think y'all kind of glazed over little Shohei Ohtani, man. That dude's gonna.
I didn't glaze over him. I was trying to talk. He's not getting enough pub.
Well, I mean, you're right. But you know what I'm saying, that dude, if he's either striking guys out, by you know what I'm saying, by the you know what I'm saying, by the inning, like boom, boom, bam, it's not even close, or like when he's up the bat, like he's knocking them out the park, man. And it is really. I get what you're saying, man, because it's like they're on a, because we're on East Coast time, and you know what I mean. You got to catch, you know what I'm saying, the magic of Shohei. You know what I'm saying? If you're a early morning person like myself, or you know what I'm saying, late night, because the Angels play, you know what I'm saying, it's 3 hour difference, man. But like, man, dude, if he ain't the MVP by the end of the season, man, I don't know. Like, dude, I don't even know if it's close or not. I mean, I'm sure it is, man. I know. I'm sure I forget about somebody, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, him. I would say Brandon, Shohei Ohtani and the Angels. I can't remember where they're at in the standings, because I mean, they're not necessarily totally out of it. Yeah, they're not necessarily totally out of it. But I would say they're definitely the story of baseball. And how could we not? You know what I'm saying? I know the owner's tripping, man. You know what I'm saying? Saying things like, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to be the owner no more. But like, man, the Reds are red hot, man. To use the coin of phrase, man. How many? What is like 12 in a row? And then they lost three or so.
They did. Then they won last night 3-1 against cute fella, the Baltimore Orioles. You understand the cute fella reference.
Yeah, so like, nah, man, like those are some great stories, man. Especially the Reds, man. The Reds started out in the basement this year.
Take it easy.
And they crossed. I'm sorry, man. I know that's your.
By the way, first inning, Reds are up 2-0. Already scored 2 runs. Reds first inning. Love it.
There you go. So let's get the streak. I mean, they're trying to get their streak back going, man, because you know there's like, again, they at least they had a lot of call ups for the last couple weeks or whatever. De La Cruz hit for the cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Last Friday night was rocking.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Is that like Mickey Mantle? I know somebody should say that. Is that like Mickey Mantle-esque era? I know. Don't say that, man. But like, no, man. The Reds are red hot, man, and you know, definitely worth watching.
Absolutely. By the way, highlight a news thing I saw today. It's NBA, so it's kind of off balance right now. But Wembanyama, John, he was 7'5", some say 7'6". They measured him today, 7'3.5". Official height.
All right.
Official height.
That's a big boy. That's bigger. That ain't bigger than Murasan though, is it?
Hell no. Murasan was 7'7". 3-0 Reds.
Yeah,
Joey Votto. Let's go. Joey Votto, by the way, coming back huge for the Reds. And where's my sounder? Give it to me.
Give it your sounder, bro. Get your stuff together.
Breaking news. The future of the NHL has just been drafted, John.
Yeah.
My Chicago Blackhawks have drafted rookie sensation Connor Bedard with the number 1 overall pick. Connor Bedard, a Blackhawk. It's a great day to be a Blackhawks fan. Great day. Can't wait. Can't wait for this year. He's officially a Blackhawk. I think I might still put $20 on it. $20 wins me $22,500, John, if they win. So I got to take it. Oh, let me see if I've got the I don't know if you'll be able to hear the sound or not. Maybe.
And all the Blackhawks fans watching around the world.
Here we go.
And with the first overall selection in the 2023 NHL Draft, the Chicago Blackhawks are very proud to select from the Regina Pats, the Western Hockey League, Connor Bedard.
Connor Bedard, baby. There we go. It's officially started. The complete opposite of Victor Wembanyama. John.
No fanfare.
Before we actually get deep in it, I do want to take time to talk last Thursday. Last Thursday, myself and John were able to go up to Ball State University, hang out with Coach Mike Fleck at Ball State. We got to see the campus. John, we got to go to the Performance Center, see all the incredible technology that they have at this Performance Center for the teams, for the men's and women's, for the recruits. It's so cool to see what they're building there with Coach Fleck. The fact that, seeing, the locker rooms they got, their meeting rooms, the putting greens, the working out of the fake sand trap, hitting on the simulators, the putting simulator you could do, all amazing things there. I can't thank Coach enough for having us there. And then the fact that we got to go to the Ball State golf outing as well, over in Winchester, great opportunity over there. Great course, a lot of fun. Very, very cool. And then the fact that the next day, Ball State's national news with Coach Fleck getting a verbal commitment from Happy Gilmore to play.
The one and only Happy Gilmore. The real life Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, the real life Happy Gilmore. And the school, Adam Sandler kind of wished him luck too. So.
Yeah, Coach Fleck, man, I'm glad if he's listening. I'm glad that the program is probably get the national attention that it deserves. But remember, though, Brandon, who was on them first? Crossroads Sports was on Ball State Golf first, man. You know what I'm saying? For all jokes aside, man, it's a program. If you're a golfer, man, you definitely should be trying to check them out. You know what I mean? Either you know what I'm saying, try to get you some pointers. I know, as I know we have enthusiasts who kind of listen to our show. Or you know, say any student athlete who might, trying to figure out where you want to go to school at, man. Go to Ball State, man. Ball State's getting bigger, and you know what I'm saying. So man, it was great. Just kind of piggyback on what Brandon was saying, it was great to catch up finally, to go back home, right, to Muncie, Indiana. Me and Brandon had some very candid. We didn't catch it on video. We had some very candid moments in the car, just going down memory lane. You know what I'm saying, driving through the village and, like I said, driving through campus, man. Like I said, campus couldn't be any more up to date, more beautiful. I didn't say, I know I'm going to get in trouble. I don't care. I said Ball State campus looked better than Butler. And I don't know if that's going to pull out any of our Butler media credits, man. But, you know what I'm saying, I know Ball State and Butler used to be, back in the day, they used to be rivals and various things like basketball and everything. But man, it was great. It was great, real great to catch up with Coach Fleck. And like I said, that Performance Center and like I said, taking us over to Winchester was great as well, man. I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to, like I said, go back up to campus again, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Great time there. Thought I had it closest to the Penn Award. That got taken from me. I got even closer. But overall,
hold on, man. Don't act like you didn't win nothing. Don't act like you didn't win nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Reed. So listen, man, we got invited, you know what I'm saying, to Winchester, and it's a charity event to help raise, you know what I'm saying, awareness and money and all those things for Ball State golf. So Brandon y'all know Brandon, you know what I'm saying, as far as this show is concerned, Brandon is like you said, he's the gambling, what do you call himself? Not legitimate. Anyway, he's got a gambling problem.
Yeah. Sports betting gambling. Yeah.
Sports betting, man. So Brandon put a little. They had a raffle.
I donated.
Put a little money down.
I donated money for the program.
He donated. Yeah, he donated, man, and he walked out with all the prizes. he walked out with the football helmet, legit, you know, some professional college football helmet, Ball State, whatnot, on the side, right?
Yeah.
And how many tickets to Ball State football?
I got a season ticket package for Ball State football, and then I got 4 different Ball State shirts swagged. Ball State football shirts swagged out.
Come on, man. Brandon walked out there like a fat rat.
I thought I started getting some booze after the second announcement when I won the big football package with the helmet and all.
Well, then, hey, man, you know, a lot of those people, man.
Hey, but they listened to us, so it was good. It was good. So, we will have so you'll see this. We'll have a live in a couple weeks. And the helmet, which I'm holding right now, the actual helmet will be, it'll be on the mantle and behind me in a couple weeks. We'll show it off there. So, quick housekeeping before we actually get to the NBA, because it's kind of been a slow news week and not. But before we get to the NBA, housekeeping, no show next week. I will say probably no show next week, John, most likely. The following week, there will not be a show either because I'm moving, folks. Moving to a house, so technology and everything I have won't be there. We will not have official shows next week or the following week, but that does not mean we may not have a Instagram live 30-minute thing with me and John next week and the following week. We'll definitely have something to that nature the next 2 weeks, just no regular show that we would have like this. So you'll get something, but you ain't gonna get the whole dinner. You'll get the appetizers, as they say. John, NBA. Before we go to the draft, let's talk draft day. Me and you were in the golf cart last Thursday up at Ball State, and I'm driving, John, and actually it's the first hole, and I hit the par 3, and I thought I had it closest to the pin. We're going up there, and we're walking away, John, and you're looking at me, and you're like, uh-oh, and I'm like, uh-oh, what? Chris Paul got traded, John. He is now a Golden State Warrior, and me and you kind of talked candidly about it. We didn't go live, but Chris Paul to the Warriors. I'm still in shock about this.
Yeah, it doesn't kind of feel like John Starks or somebody joining the Bulls, or somebody who you constantly went to war against, and you finally however, well, they didn't necessarily team up. It's just kind of how Chris Paul's contract got traded around the NBA, man, and somebody it kind of settled there in San Francisco with the Golden State Warriors, man. I kind of thought he was on his way out again, man, but like to cut that contract would cost them even more money, right? So it looks like Chris Paul's gonna be a Golden State Warrior at least till February as a trade. Let's remember, this is the team that at one point also, had D'Angelo Russell for a half season. This is the team that also had the number 2 overall draft pick and James Wiseman as far as the team. So they're fine with, cutting bait on quote unquote, high profile, high profile players. But some people think that Chris Paul will stick around for the year. Now, what that looks like as far as what everybody minds, is it a good fit because we know the Golden State Warriors play fast, right? And Chris Paul's a little bit more methodical. Who's to say that they don't run out? That Chris Paul doesn't come off the bench and is more of the sixth man, and whatnot. And I get it. In everybody's mind, it's like, when was Chris Paul going? He's going to get hurt, and I get that. I just know that as far as next season is concerned, the Golden State Warriors, it looks like if he stays on the roster for the full year, it looks like it's an all chips in. Right, Jim Irsay? It looks like it's an all chips in kind of season for the Golden State Warriors, and with what they have, and we all know Chris Paul still to be special, but what they have right now, whether whether it's Moody and Wiggins and Kuminga, those are gonna be the secondary guys to kind of lead this, lead this unit, lead this team. So, do I like the move? Can't say it's still, I can't say this gonna work because I just don't necessarily think you're gonna have two. Who's the coach of the team? Who's the leader of the team? Like, man, Draymond Green's the coach and leader of the team. So is Steph. And we've never really seen Chris Paul in a secondary role, like a backseat. We've never seen that. Not in this NBA. So it's gonna be kind of interesting to see in that regard. Brandon, I still kind of question the fit long term. Well, long term for the rest of this season, I just kind of question the fit. But hey, those guys, the Steve Kerrs of the world, and the Mike Dunleavy Juniors who are now running the Golden State Warriors of the world, they clearly know better than me.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, we'll see what happens with that team. Jordan Poole, man, let's talk the other side of that real quick. Jordan Poole, he did some things, man. This past year had a bad season. He spent $30,000 on a stripper at a dinner. He got in a punch-out fight with Draymond Green, and now for his actions, all that, he got shipped out.
It's rough, man. You're right. So the biggest thing is that he had a regressive season, right? That's the biggest thing. It's the reason why he got traded out. And the years on his contract, him and Chris Paul basically making the same money from a year-to-year basis, but his contract is a little bit younger, where Chris Paul's is like 2 more years left. And the Golden State Warriors were definitely trying to get out of that. it kind of looks bad, man, because the Golden State Warriors basically punted on a guy that they had already stepped and said, hey, man, we love him.
Right.
We want to keep him here 2 years ago when they won a championship, man. So I don't know if that kind of comes back to bite them in the ass. But I do know that they still have, like Golden State, like they had those other young guys that, you know what I'm saying, that they hope step up and hopefully make another run for them. I kind of got Golden State pegged like in the 3-4. If the season starts next year and all things being equal and everybody comes in 100%, I kind of got them still in the middle of the pack of the West. But a lot, like I said, I think a lot of those young guys step up this year. And like I said, Moody and Kamiga, and like with some of the older guys, you know what I'm saying, like Klay Thompson, you know what I'm saying. I'm not say phased out, but probably getting a little bit less tick.
Right.
And with you know what I'm saying, the movement of Jordan Poole and his how many 17 shots did he take per game or so, there's gonna be more opportunity for other guys to get play, to play and step up and show more of their game. So you know what I'm saying, new splash of coat, paint, and then go safe.
Okay. Indiana Pacers, John, they made a trade from the 7th pick to the 8th. We kind of did our live afterwards talking, getting their guy in the draft and then trading the 7th pick there. With Walker, I keep thinking of Walker. I like the pick with them getting bringing Walker in. It's Jarris, not Jarace. Jarris Walker. My question is, I don't know if he'll compliment. I think he'll compliment Miles Turner all right out there. I just don't know if it's really a splash, like having him start. Honestly, I like to see what we can do in free agency and what trades we can make as well to see if we can get a starter out there at that power forward position. To have kind of Jarris Walker kind of work his way in. I don't know if I could see him right now as a complete starter at the 4 position. He definitely needs to improve on his shooting, but I think it's a good piece in there that can build into. I just think we need to look in free agency and trades if we can find that veteran power forward type, a la David West style.
Well, I think that's what everybody kind of hopes this kid kind of turns into 2-3 seasons from now, is that you kind of get a strong guy like a David West. But you're absolutely right, Brandon. He is only 19 years old, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who comes from college isn't Anthony Hardaway from back in the day, or I'm trying to think who else came out. Carmelo Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you come out of college killing, man. So there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. There's going to be some times, man, where he's going to be overmatched, you know what I'm saying, or less well prepared for the challenge, you know what I mean? There's a lot of good skilled guys in this NBA, man, from Jokic to Sabonis to Giannis, you know what I mean? So he's going to have to deal with all, you know what I'm saying, all those guys, and you know what I'm saying, they're not going to, you know what I'm saying, give him those breaks because he's a rookie, you know what I mean? But It is a good piece. It is a great piece for the Pacers to pick up. We know we need it, drastically need it. Better defense and presence out there on the floor. That was what the IMG academy that he went to and the college that he attended. As we know Kevin Sampson. Like, you can't get on the floor. I know here around the Hoosier part, man, Kevin Sampson is like a key moment. You know what I mean? If you mention him about IU basketball, but like, man, to play for Kevin Sampson, to get on the floor, you had to play defense. And that has traveled with him from IU to Oklahoma to Houston, man. And this kid, you know what I'm saying, it played great defense for him down there in 1 year time in the University of Houston. They just came up short in the tournament. But I think it's a good piece. What they can kind of pick up in free agency and potentially, you know what I'm saying, who's not on this roster, you know, as far as the trade, it's going to be key. Brandon, I got them still. They got to break a playoff push this year. This team is too mature to be kind of sitting out, looking around. And you know what I'm saying, even if it's, you know what I'm saying, you get bounced, you know what I'm saying, 4-0 in the first round, this team has to make the Pacers need to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with that. I will say, looking at the free agency rating, I think it's going to have to be a trade, because the more I look into it, I'm looking at this website, Hoops Hype, the top power forwards that they have free agent wise with options. Kristaps Porzingis, which he just got traded. Draymond Green, he's going back. Jeremy Grant. We've talked about Jeremy Grant several times. If we could somehow find him, get him here in a sign and trade, maybe, I think that would be great. I don't know his willingness to want to come to a up and coming team like Indiana.
Right.
And maybe he wants to stay. I mean, he earned $20 million last year. The Pacers have over $30 million in cap. He only got really one roster spot left. So you could, his agent's Rich Paul, you could go out and possibly get him. He does provide versatile defense, which we're trying to get here is better defense, which is why we went Jarace Walker. But he can guard multiple positions at once. So Jeremy Grant, I think, is still high on the list as a top get. If you can get him free agency, great. If you can go and get him via trade, a sign and trade, I think that'd be great. Fourth on their list, I want nothing to do with a Kyle Kuzma. Nothing to do. Fifth, I've been in love with this guy since last year, and I told you I want him as much as we could. Cam Johnson from Brooklyn. I like Cam. Could he get started with this young team? Absolutely. He only made $5 million this past year, so I think that's easy. He's not as young as you would hope for a player eligible for the rookie scale extension, but still one of the best free agents in his class because he can shoot, his shooting ability, and he's got versatile defense, John. He would be my number 2, Cam Johnson, behind Jeremy Grant as a go-getter. 6 is Harrison Barnes. There was Pacers linkage to Harrison Barnes, but I don't want to touch that. I think he's on the downside of his career.
Right. Man, Golden State needs to reach out to Harrison Barnes, man. He's the forgotten one. They owe him one. If anybody remembers Harrison Barnes, he's one of the original. As far as this Golden State era is concerned, he's one of the original ones. When Kevin Durant made that, or Steph Curry made that call for Kevin Durant, they kind of left Harrison Barnes out in the wind, man. He's bounced around between Sacramento and Dallas. And now he's kind of like, a man without a country. High-skilled basketball player. I think he went to the All-Star game at least once. I do believe so. But, like, again, man, kind of a man without a country. He can provide a spark on both sides of the court. But, like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't necessarily think he fits into the timeline of growth for this particular Pacer team. I know the coach likes him. You know what I'm saying? I know Carlisle likes him or whatever. And I know everybody talking about this, how you going to get a veteran, you know what I'm saying? But we have veterans on this team at the guard. And I don't know what happens with George Hill's contract or if he stays. I mean, if he gets retained, it's probably a no. But, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's other veterans on this team now. So, and like I said, I don't necessarily believe Harrison Barnes. I don't believe Harrison Barnes is, you know what I'm saying? He's plus he's over 30. Like I said, he's done a whole lot of winning. He's probably trying to get back to a playoffs. Yeah, he's trying to get back to a playoff situation. So I could even see, but who? Hold on, you said hell no to Kyle Kuzma, and I get that. Why that would be? There was somebody you said on that list that kind of perked my ears up just a little bit.
Okay.
Who was the first guy?
We got Draymond, Jeremy Grant, Porzingis, Harrison Barnes.
Okay, so Cam Johnson. That's what it was. Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson is probably he probably what I've heard, Brandon, because I know you've been kind of high on him as well. He's probably going to resign. He's probably 80% sure he's going to resign back with Brooklyn. But you know what I'm saying, if a team was to make him an offer he can't refuse, it's probably pry him out of Brooklyn. But all arrows kind of point him returning.
It will have to be a trade. This free agency class kind of sucks for power forwards. Because number 5, you got Kenyon Martin Jr., P.J. Washington, Grant Williams, George Niang, Rui Hachimura, but he's going to be re-signed. He's got restricted. Trey Lyles, Jeff Green. Like Jeff Green, he'll still come off the bench for a veteran, but none of those guys I just said is somebody that we can see as the Pacers starting power forward, right? I'm not a fan of Aaron Nesmith coming back in and starting at the power forward position. I like Aaron Nesmith, but he shouldn't be playing the power forward position.
Right, he's a little undersized. Very, very undersized playing power forward. Absolutely.
Yeah, in PJ, I'm not no, not for this team. I don't think PJ. We don't need Charlotte scraps. We've been trying to get Charlotte scraps for how many years? So we don't need that. D-Cot's in here on the Facebook Live saying PJ Washington, 2-year max. Like, no.
Hey, man, PJ Washington has a decent block rate per game. He don't rebound worth the shit. To be 6'9.5", he don't rebound worth the shit. You have the same problems you have Miles Turner light. And I'm not saying he's as good as a scorer as Miles Turner. They both probably block shots probably about the same, but like he don't rebound worth the shit. So PJ Washington, we'll see you next time.
Yeah. So next year, John, maybe you try to do a trade. I think you try to do a sign and trade, or see who you can get. If you can get Jeremy Grant and Cam Johnson, those are my top two. If you can't do either of that, then I guess you throw the Rook in there, and then you see what Jalen Smith and them can do part two, and you try to hope. And if he can't, hey, guess what? Darius Walker's in there. Next year's class, I don't know. Me and you probably need to go in a deeper conversation on Tobias Harris because he's a free agent next year. I don't think it's worth the price tag for him. Pascal Siakam is a free agent next year. DeMontis Sabonis, Kelly Olynyk, Robert Covington, Kyle Anderson, Thaddeus Young, Taurean Prince, who just got a new deal, Rudy Gay, Obi Toppin, Jared Vanderbilt. Those are the guys that are your free agents next year as power forwards. It's a little slim there. I mean, Siakam takes a lot of bad shots. I see.
Brandon,
that I see in Toronto.
How many of them dudes on the list? How many dudes on this list is going to Phoenix?
I feel like a lot of them.
A lot of these dudes.
In 2 years, John, we got our guy though. In two more years, in 2025, you can get your power forward of choice. Because number 3 on that list, at second and third in salary right now, $16 million is Lauri Markkanen.
Oh man, they're gonna raise a statue of him out in Utah, man. So he won't be coming this way to the Pacers, man.
I'll tell you this, a serious one, and I'm not kidding. You got 2 free agents in 2025 for power forwards you can go after. Evan Mobley from Cleveland. I think that's a reliable thing. Somebody you can go out and get. I think he'd be serviceable here as a starter for Indiana, and then as well as. Jonathan Kuminga will be a free agent, and then so Scotty Barnes. Those 3 in the power forward position will be 3 free agents in 2025 if you could just get there. I know we've talked Kuminga. I think it could be a reliable source. Pacers have tried to talk a trade with Golden State. They couldn't do it. I don't know what Golden State's roster is going to look like in 2 years. They might not be able to keep Kuminga. And I think that's where you go.
Yeah, at some point, all the money's going to run out, right? At some point, this apron that the NBA keeps on rolling out.
Sorry, you're eating right now. I can hear you.
Can you?
Yes. It's easy to hear you.
I was trying to stop this.
No, the people can hear you.
At some point, like, the money is going to either apron, like, it's going to stop. And they're not going to – and Steph Curry's not going to retire. And they're still going to have his numbers on the books. And unfortunately, so is like Klay Thompson. So like, what do? Extend everybody you can.
Yeah. So let me give you your free agents here for this year. These are your actual free agents. Then we'll get the cop on. Let me go through your top guys: Russell Westbrook, Chris Middleton, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kristaps Porzingis until he signs that new deal, D'Angelo Russell, Kevin Love, Draymond Green, Fred VanVleet, Harrison Barnes, Jeremy Grant, Karis LeVert, Malik Beasley, Derrick Rose, Will Barton, Christian Wood. I could have said Christian Wood, John, but I don't. Can you see him being a starter? I know he's a starter in Dallas, but that's just because of what they got. I don't know if he can be a starter here in Indiana. I don't know. Kelly Oubre is there, Jordan Clarkson, Jay Crowder. Jacob Pirtle, who used to be with the Spurs and now with Toronto. I don't know. I'm just not impressed with this free agency class. I think you really got to do a sign and trade. I really do. Or a trade. Thoughts on that? JB, can't hear you. If you're talking, you're muted.
I'm sorry, dude. If you can get a certain player on a certain It's not a great free agency class, right? It's
No,
not
it's
something
terrible.
that's good automatic. It's going to change. It's going to change your franchise. That's why you saw the Bradley Beal trade. That's why we saw, Chris Paul and Jordan Poole kind of just, ping pong around several teams and whatnot. But if you want to improve your team this year, unless you're Damian Lillard and you're trying to like 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and I know he's kind of recanted now. Like the only way to improve your team is going to be through a trade. I don't know, Brandon. I know you didn't. We haven't touched on this yet, but I don't know what Damian Lillard is doing. Like, what is he doing, Brandon? Does he really want to, like, are you saying, just tell Portland to give me the best people to play with available? Right? Now, here's the crazy thing about that, man. So, like, they had pick 3. They offered Scoot Henderson, or pick 3, rather. I won't say Scoot Henderson because they didn't know when the draft and how it was going to play out just yet. But they offered pick 3 and Anthony Simonson, another guard, off their team in several different trade scenarios with several different teams, man. Brooklyn said no or declined the trade. I think there was just talk with Miami more so than anything like, hey, what players were involved. I even heard something about San Antonio, which I thought was ridiculous, man. They literally trying to go get traded to San Antonio?
Right.
No way, man. I think at this point, man, like, if the Blazers don't have okay, who you bringing in for free agency? Like, what money you have to spend, and like who what Damian Lillard has kind of charged the franchise to do, right? You drafted Scoot Henderson. We all think he's going to be special. We all know he's going to be special. Matter of fact, but like, what else in free agency are you? So are you bringing back Jeremy Grant? Are you thinking about in free agency bringing in a Dylan Brooks, who went to Dylan Brooks went to Oregon?
Ugh.
You know what I'm saying? Who's from the area? You know what I'm saying? You can kind of sell him on that. Again, Dylan Brooks is not going to necessarily bring you a championship. But hold on, you saying buzz though, Brandon? But like, hell, they're talking about bringing in Draymond Green.
That's fine. I'd rather have Draymond Green than Dylan Brooks.
Man, it's 8 points is 8 points, man. At some point, 8 points or veteran presence is veteran presence. So,
but the problem is Draymond Green can talk shit and he backs it up. Dylan Brooks talks shit and he hides. At least Draymond answers the audience and the crowd.
Hold on. Draymond Green talks shit and costs his team championships. Draymond Green talks shit, hey man, hold on. Jordan Poole, like that fractured the team. And it made the organization.
Maybe he said something that pissed him off. Why you signing on the
I wouldn't necessarily say, you got to be the bigger man. Anyway, I wouldn't necessarily say Draymond Green, everything goes great with him. I'm just saying, I'm not saying Dylan Brooks is as good as him. I'm just saying what they have to do. They've already tried to entertain Draymond Green. There's like conversation with the Portland Trailblazers. My point is like, hey man, we can debate all that though, Brandon. When is Damian Lillard gonna say, hey man, I'm rolling with a good enough crew right now? I'm gonna lift them up because we just saw
He's been lifting them up for years.
And it's
John.
not like hey man, it's tough. Hey Brandon, you heard this, tough titty. Get over the hump, man. You know what I'm saying? Clyde Drexler got him to the finals. Dame, you can't. I know. Dame, you can't. And I'm not saying, we all know Clyde had an exodus at some point, but like at some point, man, you gotta chip up. You gotta remove the excuses. We just saw a miraculous run by the Miami Heat, and you can say that was a fluke, but you can't say it was a fluke because they had another run 2 or 3 years prior with the same kind of core group. And then Jimmy Butler didn't have any draft picks, right? That's all we heard was like, hey man, he's playing with this dude, just got into the league, you know what I'm saying, after playing in Turkey and after playing in the G League. Hey man, I'm tired of the narrative of hearing excuses. Jimmy Butler and the Portland Trailblazers, do your best with what money that you have to put in a veteran team. And and Dame Lillard, like, dude, you playing with Scoot Henderson, who's number 3 draft pick this year, and correct me if I'm wrong, he played with another draft pick, Shaedon Sharpe from last year. Last time I checked, Anthony Simpson is not a chump. I'm sorry, Damian Lillard, it's your job as the leader of this team, the veterans, to get these dudes over the hump, man. Y'all say this for years, and he already had, you know what I'm saying, he had a good coach that you know what I'm saying, and stopped. The organization fired him. He already had a running buddy, and what's the dude they traded to? His name. I know he went to school. He went to Lehigh, I do believe. But
C.J. McCollum.
McCollum. McCullough. Like, dude, like, I'm tired of hearing the excuses, man. And quite honestly, man, I'm glad he had this whole big powwow with Portland, and it kind of found out that he wasn't going nowhere either to Portland, either to Philadelphia or Miami. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody saying, yeah.
Portland doesn't want no Tyler Hero. They're not impressed with him.
Brandon, you said it. I don't think Miami has enough to get Jimmy Butler. Portland ain't gonna give Jimmy Butler away.
You mean? Wait a minute. You mean Dame?
I said Jimmy. I keep on saying things. Right. That would be what you would want. You'd have to give them one of their star players. You had to give them either Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo, and I don't think that's the way Miami wants to run it.
Okay. Let's bring on the new sponsor of Pepto-Bismol and Tums, Decot.
What's up, fellas? Hey, there's a lot to unpack. I'm going to do the quick stuff first. Dylan Brooks and Draymond Green, the same dude, man. I don't give a damn. If Dylan Brooks is on Golden State, he has 4 titles too. So they talk shit. It doesn't matter. And they got this guy's a Hall of Famer. Okay, take Draymond Green and put him on any other team. You know who he is? He's your 8th guy off the bench. That's off the bench. He's your 8th guy, period. Enough of that. Next step, we talk about the power forward for the Pacers. I mentioned P.J. Washington. I'm not saying get a guy a 4-year max deal. What I'm saying is you got to look at your opportunities that are realistic. And Brandon, I know you mentioned about Kuminga in 2025 and 2025, but you got to get guys in Indianapolis to see what it's like, because you thinking, oh, well, we'll just wait until this time. Those guys aren't going to say, hey, let me go ahead and go to the destination spot of Indy. They got to be here to see it, to experience, to see if that's what they want to be a part of. So we can't wait till 2025 because because David West came and a few others did. But most free agents aren't thinking, wow, Indy's that destination place, especially with, a control freak as a coach and Rick Carlisle. So you're going to have to, like you said, though, Brandon, you've got to look at maybe a possible sign and trade and get some, and even if it's a guy like Kuminga or something like that, so you can get them here to see what it's like playing with Halliburton, seeing the fans, seeing how we really appreciate that type of play, your Nembharts of the world, your Neesmiths of the world, so they can get a piece of that, right? Because Kuminga is not going to be on any FIBA team or the Olympic team, so he's not going to have guys talking in his ear from that perspective. You got to get him while you can, get him as an infant so he can grow into what we have here. And if you don't do that, you're waiting on 2025, as my mom was like, wait makes the bridge go down. We can't wait. So this is that time. There's still a move to be made for the Pacers for this summer. If they don't make a move somewhere, and I don't know what move it will be and what players will be involved. They have to make a move this summer. Going into the season with what we have here, because if you remember, we only had 3 open spots, roster spots. That's why we did all the work with the second round pick. You can't go into the season. I know, JB, you said playoffs. We're not a playoff team right now, man.
Man,
we're not. We're not. No. Not with
the lay of the East. I look at the lay of the East.
Look at the lay of the Pacers. Look at the lay of the Pacers. What have we done from a perspective to say, hey, we improved our team for the 2023-2024 season?
Man, they gave Miles Turner that money.
No. See.
They gave Miles Turner. They gave Miles Turner that money.
Listen, 35 this year, 20 then 19. That's a win for the Pacers. That's a win. We need to see an all-star level step up from, I would say, soon, an all-star level step up from Miles Turner. And I understand that.
That's probably going to be some tweaking. We kind of know that. So we assume that Buddy Hield is not going to be out here. They just don't want to give Buddy Hield a way because that's premium, that's prime-time quality shooting right there.
And I understand that. Who needs to come off the bench? Not as
because it gets a little murky. It gets a little crazy when he starts you know what I'm saying, thinking he can be the ball handler. All right, wait a minute, buddy.
Right, but what I'm saying, we gotta think. I know we talking 2025 and all, but we got to think now. We have this draft capital. We've got $32 million in cap space, right? So that's something for someone, right? But that special someone has to be a guy who resides currently in the Great Northwest. I think he was number 3 on your list, Brandon, if I remember right. That's the guy. That's the Jeremy Grant is your guy.
He wants Jeremy Grant so bad.
But I'm telling you,
I do.
Here's the thing. All my points I've said are so sound, no one can argue. We can't wait till 2025. Guys aren't going to flock to Indy. Hey, the All-Star game was there in 2024. Woo, let's go. No, it ain't happening. You got to get them there so they can experience this growth with Halliburton, with Ben, with my man
Club
from
Rio
this year.
38.
Yeah. Well, don't please. Let's not do that, man.
Well, yeah, they are. They already raped for Zion Williamson at Club Rio. Stuff that's real. They already got a red.
That's already all-star prep, baby.
Yeah, they already got a prep, bro.
Am I making sense though? I mean, real talk. I mean, you got Nembhard who outplayed himself in every way. He's favorable for the next 3 years.
Nembhard's staying. He's staying.
He's going to digress this year, I feel.
Listen. Well, maybe he will, but guess what? He was a second-round pick that nobody wanted. So with that said, then you got Turner. This year is a $35 million hit. The year after is 20. Next is 19. This is your time to make that big contract deal to whomever, because you're think about it. Turner's going to go from 35 to 20. That's 15 right there. Yeah, you're going to have Halliburton coming due. Halliburton's coming due.
Because the problem, the person that you want to take a big swing is Larry Bird, Kevin Pritchard, and they ain't thinking about that.
No. Y'all told me, y'all clown me on Facebook. Oh, Bird's not in charge anymore. Blah, blah, blah. I told you. Don't try it, JB. You know what I'm talking about.
They thinking like DeAndre Ayton. You know that's still out there. They thinking DeAndre Ayton, man. You know that's still out there.
Dude, listen, we talked about this, fellas. And I told y'all, if Bird's in the house, it just ain't gonna work. It ain't. Well, he's the Caucasian Michael Jordan.
Oh my God!
Great player. I'm gonna tell you this. Listen, great player who misses the mark, thinking that those guys he gets are gonna be like him. They're not you. There's only one Larry Bird. There's only one Michael Jordan. Right. Exactly. Right. I'm telling you.
I got a question. I got a question.
Sure.
I got a question for both of y'all, man, because it's kind of crazy related too. I didn't think too much of it, but it did come, hit the news cycle. What do you think about Trace Jackson Davis and the Pacers?
It just proves
kind
not
of making
that good.
a statement, Trace.
Brandon, you sent that to me. I love it. He said, you know what, this isn't going to be a fit for me, because he knew if I'm not the 7th pick or the 8th pick in this case, if I'm not that dude, I'm going to be buried.
He ain't gonna have no playing time. He's not that good. He's not that good.
All these guys want to play. Brandon does.
Decon, he was the second to last pick in the draft. You ain't that good if you're the second to last pick. Tell me the last time somebody was that good.
No, Brandon, oh my God.
He ain't that good.
JB, you see how aggressive? Hey, JB, you see how aggressive Brandon is when it comes to blowing?
I'm just being real, man. He ain't that good.
You are never this aggressive in any other way. So in this case, Edie was so shitty, he wouldn't to Purdue. That's what you're telling me, right?
It turned to Purdue versus IU.
He wasn't good enough to go to Purdue.
No, so let's not go. So let's not go there. So with that, see, JB, don't say that. Leave it alone, JB. So that's my point. Listen, what we said, that was a great call on his part, and I support it 100%. I don't want you here if it's not something you think is going to work for you. Right? So back to our boys. What are we going to do? But we talked all these scenarios, but we have to be real on today. And if we're talking 2025, man, I'm telling you, that's not going to work. Halliburton's not waiting until 2025. He's going to be in San Antonio, L.A., Miami.
Because that's what I'm saying. This is the year they get to the playoffs. There's truly disarray.
Just because we want it to happen isn't going to happen. We got to make moves to make it happen. The current team is not a playoff roster, JB. Come on,
Dude,
man.
there's 3 teams that don't want to make the playoffs in the East right now. 9 teams get to make. How many teams get to make the Brand? How many teams get to make the playoffs?
Well, I know, I understand. We got. Listen, JB. When I say playoffs, I'm not talking about getting in there.
You talking about classes 1 through 8?
I'm talking about making. I'm talking about making some noise, right? I'm talking about a first round win and a real deep fight for the second round. That's not in the Pacers' DNA right now.
Hey,
If you don't, I'm telling you.
D-Kai, I love what you're saying, but here's what I'm saying. I'm tired of hearing the Tony Kanon's return speech every May.
No.
You know
No, there's no speech here.
We need to hear. We need to hear.
Something happen, man.
Ben Matherin got so pissed.
No, John, it's not the Tony Kanaan speech. It's the Alabama's win a national championship speech. That's what it is.
Oh,
Lord. See, listen, you can throw the daggers all you want. See, I'm such Brandon.
Hold
I
on,
love you.
but real quick.
Going back to
I got to think of this. You said that I'm okay, and I'm okay with that. Trace Jackson Davis doesn't want to come to Indiana because he'll be, and it's true, he would be buried here. But let's be real. That ain't the only reason. He can't handle the pressure of wanting to be known as Dale Davis Jr. And if you look at Golden State where he went, he's buried as well. You got Wiggins, Looney, Kuminga, JaMychal Green.
But there's no pressure on him to do anything. You said it yourself. He's a 57th pick from Indiana going all the way out.
Well, there's never any pressure on Indiana Hoosiers going to the league because you don't expect much out of it. It's all right.
Oh my God, Brandon! Brandon, we're gonna have to have the side,
especially with that coach.
Because hold on. Now you gotta stop. Now let me tell you something, right? You're okay jazzing out Dale Davis Jr.
Shifting gears.
You don't mess with Mike Woodson. I've talked to you about this before. You don't listen. You don't mess with Iron Mike Woodson. You don't. Don't mess with my guy.
Iron Mike. Oh man. D-Kai.
You don't mess with my guy. I've talked. D-Kai. We talked about this.
D-Kai, I know we kind of up against it, man, but listen, man.
No,
don't let. Okay, I got you. Don't let LSU win in the baseball, the World Series.
Man, I don't care. Listen, let's go back to the Pacers.
They're going for a sweep, man. They try to go for a sweep, man.
I mean, listen, real quick.
This is June. We're in June, fellas.
When you play Florida Gulf Coast and Army and Wright State and Harvard at home in North Alabama, Kennesaw State.
You know what? D-Kai, right? D-Kai, hey man.
Soft as.
I tweeted the biggest IU fan, Dan Dockey's punk ass.
Yep.
Right. I tweeted him, man. We ain't heard from him, man.
Punked out.
Ever since he got fired, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking for the humble. I even tagged Brandon in just so let him know it's the same thing, man. Like there's another white person here, man. It's okay. You can come. Dan Dockey, you can come call the show. He's a coward. They play dude. I was teaching about LSU but I think LSU's gonna be real good. We'll get to that here a little later.
They will.
That'll be good.
D-Kai, they playing Army. They put that out in the paper like the Army, like that was a big time game, man. Meanwhile, Purdue is playing a big time game. They're playing Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You gotta. I'm not hating on Army. Like back in '87, it kind of makes sense when Coach Knight was still on the sideline and he used to coach the Army. I get it, man, but like
that's not all they're playing, John.
Playing Army?
That's not all they're playing because they got them as well. But then they're also, let's be real, they're going to possibly take on Gonzaga, Kansas, Marquette, Syracuse, Tennessee, UCLA. That's all in the Maui invite. So there's 6 more teams right there. Just look, Purdue has changed their schedule to take on these bigger teams, and it did them great last year. It's going to do them great this year. But IU, I understand you got Auburn. That's fine. I understand you got Kansas. You got Kansas coming to IU while the kids are out of school. The most dumbass thing I've ever seen IU do. Have it while the kids are there, at least.
Oh, my God.
Listen, how did we get from we're talking power forward and the great state of Indiana with NBA. Well,
because we pick it on your team. You love some Alabama, and LSU probably got their number this year.
Oh.
And
Hey,
for
did
some
I
odd
tell him
reason,
to get attacked? Whoa.
No, you're not.
Is this the attack station?
No, it's not. It's not, man.
Let me ask you this real quick, D-Con.
Hey, hold on, man. Happy belated, by the way.
Yeah,
Thanks,
happy 60th.
Hey, it was wonderful. Man, yeah. Hey, it was wonderful.
This is how you
man.
get treated on the Crossroads Sports Show.
What do you know about Tyler Bucknell? Or Buckner? Tyler Buckner Jr.
I watched. You talk. No, that's not. That's the kid from the second round pick we got.
No. I'm talking about the quarterback for Alabama. I've got the new Phil Steele preview press guide. This is
come on, please.
Alabama quarterback.
Please.
You're in trouble now.
Okay. Let me break you down. Jalen Milroe will be the starting quarterback for the Tide this coming fall. You've heard it here. I've said it twice now. There's nothing else to talk about.
He's not there right
The
now.
one thing he does know is this team. I will never
Come on.
question
Come on,
knowing this team.
Hey, I'm cool, man.
There you go.
Hey,
Alabama.
on this, man. No. Jalen Milroe will be the starter easily. Let me rewind. Not easily, but from those of us who know, that's even without a doubt, right? So we'll see what happens. We got a few tailbacks that are really strong. Defensive backfield strong. We'll see what happens. But back to my Patriots. Listen, my guy Dennis wants to come on next week, right? I told you guys about that.
We're not doing a show next
I
week.
got the. Okay. Oh, that's right. Because of the holiday. So week after that, I'm gonna have my guy Dennis on. I want y'all to hit him up with all the Pacers stuff. Damn, Lord have mercy. Maybe we just gotta go.
It'll be a couple weeks. I got to move in 2 weeks. I'm moving we just bought a house. I got to move. So 2 weeks.
Listen. See, until you start attacking me, I was gonna come over and help.
No.
Not help.
Help what? You're gonna point. You're one of those that just points, right? Put it over there. Put it over there.
No, man. That was my deal back in the day, man. I helped everybody in my dang old neighborhood move. Anyway, but
I didn't get no help on my house insurance. I'll tell you that.
Well, we can talk about this in a minute. But here's the deal. But here's the deal, right? Real talk. In all seriousness, if we don't make a move, we're going to win no more than 37 games. We're going to be in the same boat. We have to make another move. And listen, you can't go in there with Washington and Smith as your power forwards with veteran experience because you can't play them at the same time, right? So you can't go in there, and if you don't do that, it's going to be a huge miss. Our backcourt has 6 players that deserve playing time. 6. Dude, we played 9 guys.
Yep.
Man, we played 9 guys. So you gotta relieve some of that pressure in the backcourt. Now, in all seriousness, you gotta relieve some of that pressure, and you gotta get a starting power forward or a guy that's gonna play significant minutes to make a difference. Because if you don't do it now, you're waiting on 25. You're gonna say, "Here we go again, back to the doldrums," and we'll look back at 2023. Man, we had 3 number 1s, 2 number 2s, and what we got out of it was the kid from Houston. We can't do that, man. And then last thing, I want you guys, so we talked about the kid from Houston. Go back and look at the game they played against Bama in Houston. He showed his butt off. And he played against Clowney. Was it Clowney? Yeah. He played against Clowney, big man for Bama. He held his own. Clowney's about 6'11", 250, 255. Clowney, I think his name. Yeah, he's the center for Bama. Go back and look at that game, and they'll tell you all you want to know about Jarris. The dude, he's a player's player, but we cannot expect him to come in at 19 to start in November as your guy. You just can't.
Yep.
So that's my 2 cents on it.
Hey, D-Con, I got some breaking news.
You guys and share. Sure. Well, what we got?
It's not bad. It's not bad news, but it's as you're talking. Tennessee State University, HBCU. John, you'll appreciate this as well. Achieves a historic milestone as the first HBCU to introduce collegiate ice hockey.
Oh wow!
That falls under lacrosse, Purdue football, basketball.
Whoa!
and paint drying.
Shoot.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm getting you back.
Very good.
Hey, listen,
don't be shocked if you see a recruiting violation from Woodson. Just saying. I've heard some rumblings.
Okay, there's always rumbling. Listen, when we make a move down at Banker's Life, that day you guys need to go live. Whatever day, if it's a holiday or whatever, you guys got to go live.
Done. We plan on it. They gotta make something worth it for us too. Make it earth shattering. Make it worth us.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about a starter. I'm not talking about, hey, we traded 2 bench guys for Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, John likes to go live for like a Lance Stevenson signing, that type. And I said no.
Oh, hey, keep Lance Stevenson out your mouth, Brandon.
You want him?
I'm coming over. Listen, I got to go in the office tomorrow. I'm not going to be far from you. We need to meet up, and I'm not playing no golf. You keep this up with Lance, the Bama stuff, and Mike Wilkins. Listen, man, you know.
Hey, Deacon,
you know you my dude.
What you do? You might have to get that Pepto out if you come across Crossroads Twitter account or Facebook and you see me sitting there shaking hands with the devil himself, Mike Woodson, in a photo, right?
Listen, let me tell you something. Mike's from the east side, man. He will get a vibe from you. He'll probably reach out, hey, what's guy, Brandon, what's going on? Hey, stay away from him, Mike. He's with those guys up in the northwest side of the
kick some ass. Let's kick some ass, he'll say. I'll actually, you know what? I may even just go after him in one of those cameos because he makes those cameos.
You know what? I can't. Listen, and it's great. Oh, by the way, did you all hear my guy and the Mud Flaps are wrestling ex WWE stars? He called me the other day and told me. When they I'll get the date. They're taking them out. He and his tag team partner are taking them out to dinner, and I guess, as soon as I get off the phone, I'll figure it out, and I'll mess you guys.
But they got a match coming up.
They got a rematch. It looks like.
Yeah, listen. Who is the God? Dang it, it's killing me. It'll come to mind.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell. Did they? Hey, by the way, did they win that first match? Or did they lose that?
I thought they did. I thought they did.
Okay.
It was better.
It is crazy,
man. It was wild.
It's crazy. It's crazy because it's funny having anyway. But yeah, I'll get the names for you guys. But listen, when you guys go ready, I'll make sure that Dennis is available. He'll have Pacer talk. Of course, can't do inside or stuff. He doesn't have a lot of any inside stuff anyway. But he'll be able to share some stuff, which will be really good. And we can talk tickets and all that stuff like that. But the next time I do call back, it'll be closer to football when you guys get back. So maybe we'll have a little bit more football conversation. But I'm telling you, once we make the trade for whomever, and hopefully it's Jeremy Grant or whatever the case may be, or the sign deal, because we got $32 million. You got to go live that day. Message me up. I'll be ready.
It ain't going to be Jeremy Grant.
Stop it. Thanks, D-Con.
Or JB, you could say, hey, man, let's hope it's a good player.
Yeah, he's all negative, man. JB's all negative. That's all he is. It's negative.
Oh, you got some nerve, Brandon. You got some nerve.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Your team's about to have a great summer league.
Hey, appreciate you guys. I'm going to keep listening to the show. Be safe. Brandon, congrats on the house, man. It's you bought a lot of problems, but it's worth it, man.
We'll see you on the 15th. We'll see you on the 10th and the 15th to do some moving.
Yeah, man. I'm working that day. Goodness gracious.
Hey, by the way, D-Cot, I got to tell you a story real quick. We were at Ball State and we were getting some lunch before. You see who your friends are, right? You see who your friends are. We're eating lunch and we're getting ready to leave, and both of our bills come, and I fill out my bill, and then I look over to Jonathan. He goes, "Hey, I ain't gonna be like D-Cot. All these tip."
I did say that.
True story.
I did say that. Was your ears burning?
Hey, I'm a legend in my own mind.
Oh my God.
Hey, man, listen. Here's the deal. I'm willing to tip, but I don't tip bad service, man. I'm not going to award bad service.
Give me some examples of bad
But here's
service.
the thing.
Give me some of your things. It's
Let me
like,
give you an example. Okay, perfect. Me and my beautiful wife go out to dinner. I'm sitting there waiting. I got my water, but the 10 minutes goes by before I get my drink order in.
well, how quick are you
Then
smashing
I put
it
my
down?
food
Are you
order
smashing
in.
it down like in 2 minutes, or you take your time
I'm talking
progressively?
about water. I'm talking about water. 10 minutes later, no, it's you got to come to me, right? So then let me tell you, I order my food. I get my food. It's cold. That ain't the cook's fault. It's the waiter's fault or waitress. Food's cold, no problem. I'm not complaining. Glass is empty. I'm not complaining. That's the thing about me. I don't complain. Then, or I see my waiter or waitress having nuptials with somebody else in the restaurant without taking care of me. I'm just using that.
Right.
I just want to use it. So that's what I'm saying. So when they come in all nice, or they'll say, hey, we're short in the back, or, when COVID happened, we're short, I'm sorry. It's always somebody else's fault. I don't ever complain. I said, thank you very much. I pay in cash because I won't give my card at that time, because you know how that goes. I pay in cash. Have a good day.
Oh my goodness.
And that's it, man.
Whew.
I mean, real talk, that's it. I don't complain. Listen, I never complain. Now, if you give me great service, I got you. But if you give me bad service,
Well, I hear people
I'm
that
not
eat
complaining.
meat get great service. So maybe you got to go off of that vegan diet.
No. This is all. Hey, this is all pescatarian, buddy. All fish and seafood. But anyway, but to that point, let me finish this right. So when they say, well, you didn't tip, but I didn't complain. I promise you, the manager, he or she knows who their bad waiters and waitresses are. They know. What am I telling them? I'm telling them something they already know. So I don't waste my time with that. And that's all seriousness. I don't waste my time with that.
That's a whole lot.
I mean, it's a waste. I'm not going to talk to a manager who goes back in the back and says, that jerk at table 16 was saying you were bad. Well, yeah, we all know they're bad, and they do too. But I don't complain. I just have a good day and keep it moving.
My last question. My last question.
Oh, Lord.
No. This is a good one. This one is an easy one for you. It should be.
Okay.
You're sitting at the table with the king of trolls, and the check comes. Who's covering it? Who's reaching out, grabbing a check, saying, "I got this"?
Listen, I call him alligator because he's got short arms and deep pockets. He don't want to pay for nothing. He just talks his crash on me. He doesn't want to pay for our spot.
He got a short arm and deep pockets.
Hey, John, you got to cut that. You got to cut that and put that in the on the Facebook page.
I am. I got a lot of
Look, the bill will come. He's like, I'll be right back. Like, how did you go into the bathroom like?
He's the bathroom routine.
Dude. Oh man. So then I'm like, okay, I'll get it this time. But then I'll say to him, "Are you leaving the tip?" And he'll say out loud, "I'm not like you. I'm gonna tip." But we got good service. I would tip too. I'm talking about when it's bad service.
All right.
Yeah, JB, cut that out. I would love to listen, man.
Can't wait.
Again, when the move is made, fellas, please, let's make it happen. Let's go live.
Sounds good. Thanks, D-Cot.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right, that's our guy, D-Cot. John, you can tell it's a slow sports week. We start going off topic there, but sometimes you need that. When it's a slow sports week, you just gotta get to know your audience, the ones that are bad tippers. Who's going to grab that check off the table? Is it going to be Tim? Is it going to be the man with alligator arms and deep pockets? Wow. Legendary moment there. We don't have much left. The Pacers guy that we always keep talking about, John Collins, he finally got traded to the Jazz, and they signed a new deal, which was an outrageous contract. But he's there. John, I put a thing out on Twitter, and I actually watched a documentary the other night on YouTube on the Seattle Supersonics, the history of the Sonics, and then all the behind-the-scenes that went into them leaving. So it got me thinking, what's right now the top 5 NBA expansion cities when the NBA decides to expansion, because they're going to. My 5, John, are Vegas, Seattle.
Oh, yeah, number 1.
Pittsburgh,
That'd be number 2.
Kansas City, or Nashville. Those are my 5.
I don't know about Nashville because you asking Tennessee to hold. I'm not saying that they can't. Now you asking the state to kind of like, they ain't necessarily too crazy. I mean, they basketball crazy down there, but like, you know, I don't think they that basketball crazy.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And
that's why they're number 5.
But Las Vegas is the number, like, that is going to happen. And Brandon, are they waiting for LeBron to retire to sell it to him?
Somebody told me he's going to be. Somebody told me he's going to be the number 1 person over there. He'll be the first. His son, or he'll be there as the number 1 entry player, and then he'll go to GM.
I think LeBron James will be the owner of whatever franchise that happens to be in Las Vegas somehow, some way.
What about Seattle? You ready for Seattle to come back?
And Seattle, it doesn't. It's always been them versus like the person who would own the rights to the land to make. So it's never been about like could the city support a team. The city still supports a women's team, and I'm not saying like, and I mean they'd be full capacity. The Storm do, you know what I mean? So the same thing could be said if they had the team just moved because of the politics and economics of like where the team would have to play. The ownership that moved the team to Oklahoma, he wanted a new facility, and the city said they didn't have enough money to pay for it. They have enough money to pay for it. They just didn't want to invest the money into doing so. So I think how many years has that been? That's been over 10 years or so.
2006. Now. It was when Kevin Durant's rookie year.
Yeah. So right, I remember that. Yeah, him and Jeff Green played for the Seattle SuperSonics way back when, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before they put on the franchise
back
in Seattle, and then that means one of the Tennessee teams to come back over. Yeah, Memphis will probably come back. Memphis or Minnesota will come back east.
How about the soft-ass Kevin Durant going live on Twitter Spaces under a Twitter space that's called Kevin Durant is not top 5, and then he goes on there to try to defend himself.
He's not top 5.
He's not.
He's not. He's
soft.
Not
I sent you that. I wish I was on. Oh my God. I wish I was on that. I went on that space maybe 5 minutes after he left. But I wish I was on there for that. Soft.
I would even say some of the guys he played with is not top 5. Like I'm gonna say Steph is top 10, but Steph's not top 5. You know what I'm saying? Even with all the
let me ask you this.
Whatever, like,
I saw several videos of this, and I even asked around my work and some people around my work in the hotels. There are several people, John, that don't put Kobe in the top 10 all time.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm thinking that people do probably remember some of the selfish basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That or the bickering, like how he kind of stood. He did, like, people kind of forget that he stood up to the Lakers organization, kind of flirted with going to play for the Clippers or going to play for the Phoenix Suns.
Do you feel Steph is above him right now?
I cannot say. Like I said, top 10. I cannot say that, and I think Steph Curry do some amazing things.
Do you think Steph can overpass him? Because I do.
They'd have to win some more championships.
Take the death out of Kobe and all that. But
I'm still taking out. I'm taking out what I remember of Kobe Bryant as a player.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Somebody asked me, could I see him overpassing him, and I said I could. It would take maybe another championship or so, and by the end of Steph's career, I can see him possibly taking over being ahead of Kobe. I do. I mean, people got Steph. I mean, these youngsters got Steph Curry over Michael. Some people got him as close to Michael Jordan, and I'm like, man, that's not the same, man. And I like Steph. You know what I mean? But nah, it's not the same. Your boy's ranting on on Twitter right now, Mr. Dockich, about the Broad Ripple shootings and all accountabilities and yada yada yada. By the way, I watched another. Hold on, man. So I'll jump on Dr. Him because I mean that needs to be touched. That needs to be touched, man. And we'll talk about. We'll have the homie Jay Moore come on later on. Hopefully, well, we're gonna be on hiatus for 2 weeks, but hopefully by then everything's back to peaks, man. But like the city of Indianapolis needs to chill out. But the crazy thing about that though, Brandon, it's like people pick and choose. People like Dan fucking Dockich. I got mad now, man. Pick and choose about what shooting topics or about what happens. They pick and choose.
You meanly so like you totally forgot all the surrounding areas that had shootings, man. You just want to because it's, you know what I mean, because it supports
It fits his narrative.
Don't worry about it. As soon as I get off this phone, as soon as I get off this show, Three Foolish Men is gonna act a damn fool with Dan Dyer.
I can't wait. I mean, he's blasted like 5 this thread of tweets. It's just going off. Couple last things I have, John. I watched the Dark Side of the Ring episode with the original Doink, Matt Bourne.
Matt Bourne, okay.
I kind of got a better feel of Matt Bourne before he became Doink the Clown, and
did you get to see him like out of the paint?
I did, yes. I got to see him and Jim Duggan, the real life issues him and Duggan had because
cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine, and then like the fan that got kicked and he knocked his eye socket out and that whole thing. So Bourne. Great Dark Side of the Ring episode if you get a chance to watch it. It's on YouTube. I think I sent you the link about it. Hulk Hogan was asked about Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns on his level. If they were both in their prime, who would be the top?
Wow.
Of course, Hogan said they would make money together.
I will say this. Hulk Hogan's, I mean, they're going to throw that against the wall. Like, it's a different type of wrestling right now.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you this, America. Like, Hulk Hogan got the moment where he body slammed Andre the Giant. Everybody remembers that. And he got some other ones where he body slammed Yokozuna and all that, right? That's actually, you know what I'm saying, bloodlines like great-great-uncle or some shit like that, right? But listen, man, what the bloodline is doing was, like, he don't even have to wrestle. He just got to go down there and talk.
Right.
And get super kicked or have a high spot. So Hulk Hogan, I don't know if you in Roman Reigns level because you had to do something. You had to like work. And Roman Reigns comes down there, you know what I'm saying? It looks like $1 million. And they got the whole big thing. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance. You got the ceremonial lay. I thought about getting one, Brandon. I'm not even Hawaiian. You know what I'm saying? But this is like rock as a fashion statement. So like, listen, man, I don't know, man. I like what the bloodline is all about, man. It's crazy to me. Yeah. So I don't know about that. Back up.
All Elite Wrestling, John, they're doing this stupid-ass blind tag team eliminator tournament. The dumbest thing, MJF and Adam Cole, who are enemies, are paired together. Who didn't see that coming? One of the dumbest things I've ever seen. But I will real quick pop. Earlier today, I was able to get the new book I sent you a picture of by Abraham Reesum. It's called Ringmaster, Vince McMahon and the Unmaking of America. I'm excited to read this book. It kind of goes from the start of Vince McMahon all the way through up until his resignation and the buyback of him being back in. So this just came out last week, so I just picked it up today. I'm excited to read this book and kind of get a good feel for it.
Be sure to check that out.
Walking Dead, John, have you caught it yet?
I have not, man.
I just finished episode 2 last night.
We're gonna let it build up, and then we'll just binge watch it once it's all over, man.
Okay.
I'm on Secret Invasion on Disney Plus, man. So
gotcha.
That's where my mind.
I do want to thank our sponsors, Maverick Custom Motorsports. Thank you to them. I also want to thank State Farm, Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance. Those two sponsors. Without you guys, we would not be able to do what we do. Like I said, a quick housekeeping note: next week, no actual show like this. The following week, no show actually like this. We will have Instagram Live or Facebook Live, whatnot, depending on we will have something like that. But then also, if we get some breaking news on a big free agency signing or big free agency trade for the NBA, me and John will pick a time and we'll go live. And you'll follow us on Twitter, on Facebook. We'll have all that information and more. John, I'll let you kind of do your wrap, and then we'll see what you follow his Twitter account for Three Foolish Men to see him go after Doncic. Can't wait.
Man, he ain't gonna say I'm gonna say something to Doncic, man. He's probably gonna fold like a folding chair at a graduation party, man. Anyway, listen, man, he's a coward. Get it? I'm gonna cut that, and we're gonna send it to him. Brandon Reed, Crossroads Sports, man. I love this segment, man. I know we had a lot of
Three Foolish Men. I put you right in that category.
We had a lot of people chatting it up in the Facebook part of the show, man. If you're not part of that show, man, if you didn't call in, get on the Facebook Live, man. It's a safe place, man. There's no arguing. I know that's kind of like what the apprehension with some people is, man. But like, man, everybody's just kind of there to like share ideas and like you throw it to me and Brandon, and we kind of see if it can stick the wall or if it can, like, if that forte can like really happen like for you. But like, no, man, thanks to D-Cot. D-Cot damn near took over the show again, making it all about Alabama, man. So we want to appreciate him for calling in. Also want to thank the homie from the east side, from the far east side, who ain't been dude. I don't know why he can't get his calls in, man. But
Who?
But like, nah, man. The homie that called in earlier, first call in.
Oh, Sweet Lou.
Sweet Lou, man. Yeah, Sweet Lou, man. You know what I'm saying? Go back, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Rewind the show. Listen to his show, man. His show's a little different than Crossroads Sports. Admittedly, I've listened to it on a Saturday night.
I've listened to a little bit before.
Yeah, it's a little rambunctious, man. But like, check him out for sure, man. But like, man, great content. Great for having him call in, man. He's been a long time listener, man. Crossroads Sports has been here like how many years, man? Since 2017, right? And it's gonna keep on going on and on and on, right? So, man, thanks to all our sponsors, Scott K. Nichols, and thanks to our other sponsor, Mavis Custom Motorsport, man. Like Brand said, how can we do it without them, man? We will try to do it bigger and better in the next 2 weeks. Until then, thanks everybody for listening.
We're the fourth winningest franchise in the league since 2000. All right, that means in the upper quartile of winners, we're in the top quartile of that upper quartile.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes on iTunes and the Google Play